Her Excellency Madame Guo, distinguished speakers, distinguished guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My father, Abdurrahman Wahid, took a critical decision when he served as the fourth president of Indonesia. In the year 2000, he issued a decree that changed our country and especially the Chinese ethnic minority in Indonesia. It was seen as a controversial step, as for more than 30 years, the Chinese in Indonesia were not allowed to celebrate their culture, to speak their language, and were not allowed to use their Chinese names. Anyone who dared to celebrate Chinese New Year would be arrested, interrogated, and possibly thrown into jail. As a result, many older generations of Chinese descent in Indonesia cannot speak Mandarin. President Wahid's decree lifted all those discriminatory restrictions. Now, we can celebrate Chinese New Year along with the lion dance performances. Many families started using their Chinese name again. Many young people are learning Mandarin, including my daughter, who taught me the word ni hao and xie xie. Not only did President Wahid allow Chinese culture to be celebrated again, he also allowed Confucianism to be practiced again in Indonesia. The teaching was also previously banned. So now the followers of Confucius can practice their beliefs and philosophy freely without fear of going to jail. My father did all of that, not without political risk. There were big demonstrations against him, and he was accused of siding with the communists, a very sensitive issue in our country, since communism is associated with atheism. Indonesia adopts Pancasila, or 5 pillars, as our national philosophy, and belief in the supreme God is the first pillar of the society. So whoever is branded as being a close ally of the communists would risk being accused of violating the national philosophy as well as the constitution. His political enemies soon exploited this situation and he got attacked right and left. You might ask the question, why would someone like President Wahid, who came from a religious background, would take such a political risk? Wouldn't it be safer for him to just stick with the majority Muslim group and ignore the non-Muslim minority? The answer is actually related to his conviction as a Muslim. You see, our family comes from the largest Islamic organization in Indonesia, with more than 100 millions of grassroots supporters. It is called Nahdlatul Ulama, or NU in short. My great-grandfather founded the organization. My grandfather was their chairman before he served as government minister, and my father was also a chairman of the organization before he was elected president of Indonesia. My father and his grandfather and most of his predecessors were deeply spiritual people, guided by deep religious belief. Islam's basic tenets concern the concept of equality amongst people. We believe that all creation of God has the same right to be protected from harm, and that includes freedom of religious belief. Islam also dictates its followers to fight against injustice. As a devout Muslim, my father simply follows this principle of justice and equality. He saw the discrimination against the Chinese and set out to correct it. It doesn't matter if it cost him his political career. The political risk is nothing compared to what he believed to be his duty to serve the people. Because for him, serving the people means serving God. Ladies and gentlemen, Islamic values, of course, have their roots in the 7th century when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, delivered the teachings of the Quran. Apart from the principles of justice and equality, Islamic values also put emphasis on honesty and social welfare. Throughout history, Islamic societies have thrived on the ideals of Islamic entrepreneurship, as witnessed during the Islamic Golden Age when trade and commerce flourished under the guidance of Islamic ethics. On the other hand, Confucianism, developed by the renowned Chinese philosopher Confucius around 500 BCE, created an entrepreneurial culture deeply rooted in virtue, harmony, and the cultivation of personal character. This philosophy emphasizes the principles loyalty, filial piety, integrity, and hard work. The teachings of Confucius empowered individuals to contribute to the well-being of society.